Welcome to the fork drop. Instapot Roast Beef. This is good. I've done it a couple of times, messed with it a little bit. This is gonna be good. So, first thing, obviously, let's get us some roast beef. Pulled this out a little bit earlier, thawed out. Got some Cattleman's Smokehouse rub. You can use whatever you want. A lot of times I just use salt and pepper. Who cares? Layered on there pretty good. Wrapped it up in the saran wrap. Let it thaw. Now, what I'm gonna do for the other side, this is pretty cool. I got some Mike's Hot Honey. This is just honey infused with chilies. So sweet, but it's got a little bit of a spicy kick. So we're just gonna blop some down on there. That's scientifically measured out really well. And one more little layer of Cattleman's. Get that going. Meanwhile, this thing's preheating to sauté. What we're gonna do is we're gonna sauté it. We're just gonna brown it for a couple of minutes on each side, pull out some of the fat, get a little layer of burnt meat on the bottom of the pot, and then that's gonna give us a smoky flavor later. Hopefully, if we do it right. A lot of these roasts they're real fatty. So if it is a real fatty cut, you can trim off some of the fat. This one's actually kind of lean, so I'm gonna leave it. I took a little bit of chunk off here just to get some of the juices going. And other than that, I'm just gonna leave the rest of the fat on there because it's just a little marbling. It's not too terribly overwhelming. And in the pot we go for the sear. Like I said, just a couple of minutes on each side. If it's a real thick cut like this, maybe I'll hold it up and sear the edges too. But let's get her going. While that's going, we're gonna cut potatoes, celery, and carrots. All right, I like to use a little rosemary as well. While it's searing, it's pretty good. Or you can just wait till we get the broth out and add it in there later. But yeah, let's sear it with some rosemary today. Just a few little chunks. Get this over here. Carefully measure it out, as always. Not the most cost effective, but I always get this big bag of pre-rinsed, kind of cleaned celery sticks. I don't know, usually grab like 4 or 5 of them. I'll go ahead and rinse them again because I don't want to be gross, but chop them up, set them on the side. We'll throw that in there a little bit later. This thing's still kind of loud, still searing. The honey up on the top of that starting to smell pretty good too. But yeah, I just got the baby carrots. Again, pre-cleaned, pre-cut. I'm just gonna dump a bunch out, cut them in half, roll with it. If I'm in a big hurry, sometimes I don't even cut them. If you're keeping score at home, it's about 2 cups of carrots. Like I said, you can eyeball it. Looks like the searing's done, so I'm gonna dump the broth in there and get that going. Use a can, I also have a box. You can use water with a bouillon cube, or you can just use water and then throw some salt in there. Okay, this part's important. After searing, there's gonna be a nice little crust of burnt meat on the bottom. You get the broth in there, let it heat up a little bit, and you can see down in here, I'm just gonna take the edge of this wooden spoon and give the bottom of the pan a nice gentle scrape to scrape up some of that burnt up meat. Now that, like I said, once we get the pressure cooker going, that's gonna give it a nice smoky flavor. I do that for my ribs, my pot roast, my beef stew. When I make a chili, I always wanna get some burnt meat at the bottom because it's kind of a cheater's way to simulate a smoker. So we're gonna do that. And then if you want it even smokier, sometimes I cheat a little bit more, throw some liquid smoke in there a couple steps later, but let's get scraping. This is a pot roast and not a stew. I have some really similar steps in both my stew and my pot roast, but I will use a little bit of Rotel in here. So I found a little can, dump half a can in there. It's good. The recipe calls for about a couple cloves of garlic, You can saute it with the meat. Sometimes I do. Just get a little spoonful of the already chopped organic Spice World garlic. It's pretty good. Still fresh, still strong. Throw that in there. All right, so at this point I would probably throw in a couple of bay leaves too. I don't have any, so we'll just skip it. But in with the meat. Again, it's not a stew, so make sure you don't have too much broth. Like I said, you can eyeball it like 3 or 4 cups tops for a 3-pound slab of meat. That'll go in there. Like I said, we'll set the pressure at on manual, set the pressure all the way to the top, 40 minutes and go. Okay, while that's going, we've got 40 minutes to kill. So I'm gonna do the potatoes, set them aside. I already did the carrots and the celery. Doesn't matter when you do it. Try to be as efficient as possible. I try to get this entire process done, the prep part, with just a few minutes. After I'm done with the potatoes, I'm gonna pause this and do a roasted tomato salsa. So look for that as well. All right, this thing is heating up, so I'm gonna scoot it on over. And yeah, you don't wanna touch the sides and burn yourself. Looks like the pressure's built up. It's ready to go. We're gonna do potatoes. For potatoes, you don't want really thinly sliced. I wanna take these 3 potatoes, were a little over 3 pounds. I'm gonna cube them up, decent sized chunks. All right, so here's our 3 pounds of cubed potatoes. I just got the cheapest ones they have. Sometimes I use red potatoes or the little miniature white potatoes. Just give them a good rinse and just dump them in there. If you're in a hurry, you don't want to spend time cleaning, chopping, anything like that. The whole point of this thing is to make everything easy, convenient, fast. So got a little time tonight, so I went ahead and peeled the potatoes. Sometimes I don't even do that. Just cube them, throw them in there, rinse them, of course. Watch out for the botulism. Don't want to eat raw potatoes. All right, we're back. It's been 40 minutes, and then I let it natural release for about another 10 minutes. We're gonna speed release this bad boy, get the veggies in, and finish the job. Big safety issue. Here's where it's gonna release. Move your face away from it while you push down the button. If you haven't used one of these before, it'll melt your face off. So there we go, steam rising. If you're really worried about it, put your little towel over it. I'm not too concerned. One little finger on there. Wait for the safety valve to drop. We'll be good. And there it's down. Sometimes I give it a little wiggle so to get that extra little push of steam out of there. Again, face back, release the steam. It exfoliates sometimes. Yeah. All right, now we're going potatoes. Ah, looks delicious already. Boom. Carrots. Those carrots in there. Tons of carrots. Celery in there. One more thing I forgot. I had a little moment of inspiration. A lot of times I use the old Worcestershire sauce. That'll be good. A couple little dollops of that. Boom, boom, boom. And then, like I said, let's cheat and put some liquid smoke in there. Just a little dot, because this goes a long way. Boop, boop. In there. Same spoon that we used to scrape. Move that around. Get it all down in there. The meat should be cooked pretty well by now, so I like to move it kind of to the top a little bit. Uh-oh, we're losing bits and pieces. That's all right. Get the potatoes down in the juice and cover this thing back up. Manual, pressure, high, 20 minutes. And then we'll let that natural release all the way. All right, here we are, done. Been 20 more minutes and then a full natural release. No more pressure. Meat is finished. Now, here's where you can, it's really, really tender. So some people pull it out and slice it. Some people shred it. Looks like maybe I let the potatoes cook a little bit too long because they're kind of mushy, but yeah, whatever. It's better mushy than too hard. So I'm going to shred it, put it back in. Yum. Shredding, fork, spoon. Just like Grandma would have done. Here we are, a little juicy. Like I said, potatoes, a little mushy, but they're not hard. The beef, that's what we all came for. Mmm.